go to sleep if you want, because you'll have it all on tape anyway, and we now know that it's recording sound.
No, I will not miss this.
Right.
No chance.
I think it would wake you up if you were asleep. It would wake you up.
Because the weather like this, that's why like warm, and if you eat little bit, that's it.
You always take up samba.
And sun plus sunbed, yeah.
Plus sunbed, yeah. Sunbed plus samba equals not much money left, probably.
And you want to sleep.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I won't adjust everything. I've adjusted that slightly, and I've adjusted the distance of the seat. So I'll bring the engine on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn the hazard lights off. I'll put the wipers back to neutral. Check everything like lights and wipers are in the position I want. That's fine. Right. We've got your handbag, which I will move to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Your coat is okay. Right. Emergency stop. Oh, must have had a left signal.
Clutch to line and brakes?
It depends what speed you're going at. So, do you know what I mean by the braking effect of the engine?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so if I'm moving along the road, Mr. Silverman, could I check my blind spot? I couldn't see him in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. Very popular practice cars for learners, those. One of my students has got one at the moment. Right, so let me illustrate by going that way to begin with. So there's nobody that would change their planning if I were to put a signal on, so I'm not bothering with the signal. Here I am travelling along the road at about 7-8 miles an hour. If I take my foot off the gas, the car slows down.
Mm-hmm.
That's called engine braking. If I take my foot off the gas at the same speed, 7-8 miles an hour, and the engine is disconnected, the car doesn't slow down.
Mm-hmm.
So the engine is helping to reduce the speed of the car. And in an emergency stop, you want to benefit from that, because that's going to mean that you don't have to put as much braking effort in to slow the car down at the minimum distance. The clue of a good emergency stop is in the name. You know, you want to bring the car to a total stop in the shortest distance, as if there was an emergency in front of you. An emergency in front of you means that whatever's happening in front is more important than what's happening behind. So you don't check the mirror. This is the one exception to where you would normally always check the mirror, centre mirror, before taking a physical action, but with emergency stop you don't. Here I don't think I'm going to get a reasonable gap, so I might as well put the handbrake on. And I've slowed it down more than you were doing, Linda, coming up to the junction, so that when I'm looking to the right, I've already got an idea of how much the road's curving, and I can get more steering on, so that there isn't such a gap on the left-hand side. Gas, bite. Final check into the piece of road that I'll be driving into. Into gear 2, check my centre and my right mirror to make sure that nobody's overtaking that might have followed me through the junction. I'll wait until I get past these two junctions, then go into gear 3. I'm going to take the next road on the left. Yeah, with an emergency stop, we don't check the centre mirror. We'll keep a slightly firmer grip of the wheel than you would normally do, because the weight of the car is going to go onto the front two wheels when we start braking. And if our speed is above about 20 miles an hour, you're probably in gear 3, 4 or 5. In which case we want to benefit from that engine braking by coming off the gas, locating the pedal quickly, but not stamping down on it. That might make the wheels lock up and the car slides. So we come across quickly and then press. I'll do one in a moment around the corner. Okay. If you're in gear 1 or 2, you're probably below 20 miles an hour, and you can use both pedals at the same time, because there's not really much of a braking effect to benefit from. What else to say? It's really sometimes called a manoeuvre. It's an exercise, emergency stop or controlled stop it's sometimes called. Exercise. So here I am travelling along, let's say I'm at about 22 miles an hour, something like that, around about 20, I'm in gear 3. We'll get past this junction and then you just say the word, once we're past the junction, stop, and I'll show you what I can do.
Stop. Wow! That's... Okay.
It is an emergency.
Okay.
Sorry about your glasses. I hope they're all right.
It's okay. I just didn't expect that.
Okay.
Okay.
And once you've stopped, I shall enjoy watching that. Once you've stopped, well, the slower the car goes, the more you should press the brake. The clutch only goes down just before the engine might stall. It's not the end of the world if the engine does stall.
Yeah.
But you're obviously sitting in a precarious position where you might need to, every second counts to get your car out of the way before somebody drives into the back of you. But once you've stopped, secure the car, put yourself in gear 1, hand goes back to the handbrake, and then once you know it's safe all the way around, you can just move off. So even at a low speed, I'm going to do another one at this speed, okay?
Okay. Oh no, I'm not putting.
No, it's not worth putting them on, is it? So sometime before we get to school zone, say stop. No, I'm not going to do it because we've got a silver car behind. I'll put it behind this car. So we'll get around the bend, and I'll keep it at a relatively low speed. Doesn't matter if we scare the pedestrians. Give them something to talk about. So anytime.
Stop. Oh. So you both together?
Both together, because I was travelling at a much slower than 20 miles an hour.
And when you was going faster, I just
It
couldn't
would
see.
be when I'm going faster. I'll see if I can fit one in. Watch my feet this time.
Yeah.
I'll do it before we get to the end of the road, so you don't need to say stop this time.
That's fine. That's
So
fine.
it would be foot goes onto the brake first.
That's fine.
So do you want to have a go at doing it first?
Why not? Okay.
I'll do something to fill the time. Actually, we could just drive. You could drive us back to Smedwick.
Smethwick.
Smedwick. Yeah, I don't know why there's a W there. Smedwick. Yeah, good fun emergency stopping. But you could hear on that last one how the rear tyres came off the ground because you could hear them slide. In some cars, when you go quickly and firmly onto the foot brake, the anti-lock braking system, you can ask Heinos about that. Anti-lock braking system will become operative, and that will prevent the cars from the wheels from sliding. But you may feel a strange pulsing sensation underneath the brake pedal. In my Ford teaching car, it sort of went like that. In this car, you sometimes get a hissing sound, which I think is connected with the ABS system, but you don't get any different sensation from the brake. So, yeah, you never know when, with good anticipation, it could be very rare that you need to do an emergency stop.
But sometimes you have to use them.
Yeah, so keep the hands on the wheel, grip slightly more firmly because you want to maintain steering control, and you might be about to hit a slippery piece of road surface, or some loose material, or a deformity in the road, like a dip or a hole in the road. So the steering might be about to jerk out of the direction you. And in normal driving, the weight of the car, 1.5 tons, is balanced between 4 patches of rubber about that big, where the tyres are in contact with the road. But during violent reduction of speed, virtually all the weight goes onto the front 2 tyres. And the ABS system, the anti-lock braking system, which you'll know is working properly if that light goes off, which it now does. So they've all done a self-test and they've all gone off, apart from the engine management light. I don't know why that stays on, but it goes off when the engine starts. The ABS will enable you to maintain direction control because all the wheels will carry on rotating. But if you've got a 1.5 tons weight going onto the 2 front patches of rubber and you're trying to steer and the wheels are no longer rotating, doesn't really matter what you do with this, the car is just going to go in a straight line. If it does start to skid, it's probably the rear of the car because the rear is going to be lighter at that point, so you steer to try and keep the car in a straight line. If the front wheels skid, much less likely, let's say they've hit some ice or something and the rear wheels aren't, then you would equally try and steer to straighten the car up. but the steering would be going in the opposite direction from the way you would go if you, it's a bit like reversing around a corner, the way that you would turn if the rear of the car skidded.
I'm still like
Means nothing to me.
no.
Yeah,
the
so
first
that
time
was a
I'm
bit
still
violent.
like,
I should have looked at you and thought, remove eyewear,
this is fine.
remove false teeth before going on
That's
this
fine.
ride. So, do you want to drive back to Smethwick?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'll end that recording then,
Mm-hmm.
unless you've got any questions about emergency stop or.
At the moment, no.
I'm trying
Next
to
time I will try
Yeah,
that, and then I can ask you some. But at the moment, no.
we can always
Basically,
at the side of the road without the car moving. You know, you're driving
you
along.
have to, you have
It will
to
be just quick reaction.
keep like strong the.
Yeah, you maybe tense your muscles a bit more in your arms.
Yeah.
On a driving test, they won't ask you to do it at a speed greater than 25.
Mm.
You know, they would say just drive normally, just drive normally.
Mhm.
Occasionally, they'll
And
get
then
the
they stop.
They'll get the impression that the student is deliberately trying to keep the speed low because they know it's going to be a surprise, and you know, is he, isn't he? So the examiner might say just drive normally, meaning come on, pick up speed. You know. Don't pretend. But if you're thinking, if when you see the examiner look over their right shoulder, they're basically checking your blind spot. And if you see them looking around, you know that in the next 2 seconds
You'll be stopped.
Yeah. So they'll remind you, they'll park you at the side of the road before.
If I'm stopping
surprising you.
before he's saying that.
Well, they'll remind you, they'll say, you might see me look around myself before giving you a signal, but don't do anything until you see the signal to stop.
Yeah.
But if you are thinking about changing gear and you see them look around yourself, then just stay in the same gear that you've got.
Okay.
So then both your hands are on the wheel. They won't, I don't
Just
think.
has to make yourself be prepared for this, and that's it.
Yeah,
It will be
that's
fine.
right. Yeah, you just think, okay, they're going to say stop, and I'm going to see their hand, and it's going to be loud and clear, and they'll know it's safe around, so I'm not going to use any mirrors, and I just go as quickly as I can. If the car stalls, you still do the same thing once you've come to a stop. Secure the car, put it into gear 1, then restart.
Okay.
Because that's going to minimise the time that you're sitting there like a dead duck in the middle of the road. Right, let's change over then. I'll end that one.